infrastructure projects, as seen here, are frequently mentioned as a contributing factor to former President Rodrigo Duterte's continued popularity among parts of the Filipino public. Former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's administration was credited by some Filipinos with reducing the impact of drug addiction, but this was accomplished through a campaign that resulted in the deaths of many individuals suspected of drug-related offenses.
Libo-libo ang nakiisa sa programa.
More than 50% of all barangays dito sa Region 12 ay may drug affectation.
Sa Sultan Kudarat, Maguindanao, higit 1,000 drug suspect ang lumantad, kabilang ang 15 anyos na si alias Ryan, na umaring gamit ng shabu, sama ang mga kabarkada. Sa Zamboanga City, patay sa shootout sa barangay Dita ang dalawang hinihinalang drug pusher. Ayon sa station commander ng Kuruan Police Station, dalawa pang kasamahan ng mga suspect ang naaresto. Nakuha sa kanila ang ilang sachet ng hinihinalang shabu, granada at kalibre 45 baril. Sa Dagupan City, patay ang top drug personality na si alias Opay. Gayon din ang kasamahang si Reynaldo Cornel na hinihinalang drug pusher sa bayan ng Malasike. Ayon sa mga otoridad, nanlaban si Opay kaya napatay. Sa Surigao City, patay din ang drug suspect na si alias Loloy matapos umanong manlaban sa isinagawang buy-bust operation. Nahuli naman sa Dipolog City ang isang dalaw na magpupuslit sana ng droga sa loob ng Dipolog City Jail. 4 na gramo ng shabu na nakalagay sa 5 pakete ang ipinasok sa handle ng makeup brush. Hindi na humarap sa kamera ang suspect na iginit na hindi niya alam na droga ang pinapadala sa kanya.
Talk about the war on drugs now. 3,500 people have been killed so far. It seems like the whole world is talking about it at the moment. The Philippines seems to have so many problems. So why launch what is a brutal war on drugs?
Because the sheer number of people contaminated will pull my country down. It will destroy the next generation of Filipinos. You know, these lives lost, some of them were lost during legitimate encounters with the police.
But the fact is, at the moment, we have 3,500 people killed. And you yourself alluded to just then that perhaps some of them weren't legitimate targets.
You know, there is no crime at all when you threaten criminals with death. In my country, at least, there is no law which says I cannot threaten criminals. And that was the favorite, well, of course, the cliche that they used. It became a cliche over time. And when I was president, I said, we have 3 million, according to PDEA, 3 million drug addicts. Not counting mine, because it's still going on. So I said, if we do not interdict this problem, the next generation will be having a serious problem. And I announced that, again, same. You destroy my country, I'll kill you. And it's a legitimate thing. If you destroy our young children, I will kill you. That is a very correct statement. There is nothing wrong in trying to preserve the interest of the next generation. That 3 million addicts, it's not, they are not a residence of one compact area or contiguous place. They're spread all over the country. And by the sheer number, because if you are a user, you must push. Unless you are the son of a billionaire, or because you have to sustain your addiction by getting another financer for you. And then the next financer will have to get a new victim to finance it. That's how it became. That is how drugs is spread. But it was not until I became president that the widespread and the magnitude of the problem became really a serious issue.
So what about the children and the innocent people who have been killed?
Well, that is bad.
So will those cases be investigated?
Yes,
Do you promise that?
Of course. But let me tell you, this is the law of my land. Here is a police. Here is a gangster. He's armed with an M16. The gangster only a pistol. But when they meet, they exchange fire. With the police with an M16, it's one burst, and hits 1,000 people there, and they die. There's no criminal liability. It could not be negligence because you have to save your life. It could not be recklessness because you have to defend yourself. Just like when the United States and the rest of the country, when you bomb a village, you intend to kill the militants, but you kill in the process the children there. It's only how it is explained. And we are, people judge best when they condemn. So they would always place you in a bad light. But the situation does not call for that. And that explains the reason why, until now, I have yet to hear an apology for those who have in Vietnam, in Afghanistan. Never mind about the militants. Kill them. But then, in the process, 2 families, hospital, it is collateral damage. Then why is it is a collateral damage to the West, and to us, it is murder?
You went to law school.
Yes.
You worked hard to be part of the legal system. You are a lawyer by profession.
Correct.
And you were a prosecutor for many years.
Yes.
Do you still believe in the country's judicial system?
Like now, I should believe in the system because I will guarantee this time that the law is break. There are judges here in Manila, more than 1,000 cases, no conviction at all of a drug case. That is where money flows, maybe savagery, threatening people on both sides. That is how it is played here. That's why we have this miserable thing about the drug problem now.
But do you acknowledge that you have encouraged vigilante killings?
No, I said I will kill you. If I encourage, fine.
Yes, but the point is that people can get away with murder right now, and you know that some of the killings are not legitimate.
Well,
So do you think that there might be cases of people settling old scores out there and disguising them as the war on drugs?
I do not play with conjectures. I do not make assumptions. I just say what I should be saying as a president and as a mayor. Now, if the criminals there are killed by the thousands, that's not my problem. My problem is how to take care of the law-abiding, God-fearing young persons of this republic because they have our resources. Strictly speaking, you cannot find any redeeming factor in being, the criminals there. They are there for what? So when I make a projection, I will kill you because I'm the mayor, I'm the president. Now, if vigilante would take over, but, I cannot control it. I cannot be God and control everything. Okay, you just kill these guys or you wait for the courts to do that.
Well, you can encourage good policing and you can encourage justice
Yes.
and trust in the judicial system.
Correct. But when I was campaigning as a president, the drug problem was already reaching by the millions. Well, 3 million is 3 million. Now, during my time, we have started to count. We are nearing now the 800 mark, 800,000. By the year ends, I would have about also 1 million. So I have 4 million drug addicts. Do you think that's an easy number?
No. So why not put all the energy into rehabilitation,
Well, where do you find it?
reforming
Energy?
healthcare?
Okay. Can we cut this for a while? I'll just have to. Pakihanap yung newspaper kahapon.
He wants to show you the newspaper.
Oh, sure, no problem.
It's a rehab facility built by somebody. This is what they cried at. Duterte, he should have built rehab houses instead of killing the criminals, the drug lords. This would cost millions. I entered the presidency of the Republic of the Philippines midterm. There is nothing at all left in that budget for this year, which was prepared by my predecessor, which was also prepared the other year to be implemented this year. The implementation does not contain any money. Because nobody, until I became president of this country, nobody realized how widespread, how dimensional it was for us.
Sir, in the past, during the campaign and weeks into your presidency, you have repeatedly said that you have no regard for human rights. But human rights is actually part of the Constitution. And as head of state, it is also part your duty to uphold the Constitution. How does that connect?
I would rather intimidate and strike fear in the hearts of the criminals, just like what happened in Davao, when finally you can walk the streets, walk about in the streets at night, and you can eat anywhere at any time, and nobody would bother you. It's happening in Davao. Davao City is in the midst of
Mayor Duterte, halos magkamukha lang yan kami. Kaya kami matalik na kaibigan. Kasi sometimes we descend to the level of hyperbole. Yung bang sinusobrahan mo ang sinasabi mo para mas epektibo, mas nakaka-catch attention ng nakikinig. Pero hindi naman literally true. So, I think itong mga accusations of example death squad or other terrorist actuations, dapat may reklamo sila. Noon ba? Noon pa yun eh. Istorya na yan noon pa. Baka 10 taon na. Kaya, ba't hindi siya inimbestiga? Ba't hindi nila pinag-file ng mga ganong kaso? Pag sinasabi niyang napatay ko yung tao na yun, he might mean on his orders according to law. Because may mga police circulars yan on how you can kill at will, kill inside, and so on. May mga regulasyon yun. Paano patayin ang tao na ayon sa batas? Yan ang siguro ang ibig niyang sabihin. Pero wala namang tao magsasabing ako ang nagpatay nitong kay ganito at i-describe niya mismo ang tao. That would be an admission against interest, and you will need the full panoply of judicial defense. So, I think it can be disregarded unless there is weighty evidence as hyperbole. One of those things that politicians sometimes say, sometimes in an exaggerated way, to catch the attention of the public.
Would like to put on record the statements made by former Senator De Lima. During the investigation here in the Senate, during her term when she was still a senator, wala pa rin nakitang ebidensya tungkol dyan sa mga DDS na tinatawag. Nung CHR chairman siya, wala rin nangyari sa mga investigation at wala pa rin nakitang ebidensya. Nung secretary siya ng DOJ, which is a very powerful cabinet position, wala po rin siyang mga nakitang ebidensya. At hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin po ang sinasabi niya, wala pa rin gustong mag-testify, wala pa rin siyang kinakasuhan. So I think that is a matter of incompetence, Mr. Chair.
I take
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
exception to that, Your Honor.
Okay, to be fair. The chair will be fair. Excuse me, everybody, Mr. President. Teka muna. Sige,
Hindi ko po
yes,
nagustuhan.
Senator De Lima, sige,
Thank you.
short na lang, short.
Hindi
sige,
ko po
response.
nagustuhan yung ganung conclusion na
Okay.
wala akong ginawa or that incompetent. Malayo pong description sa akin yan. I always do my job.
mga kriminal, kasi ang negosyante pati ang kriminal, magkasama yan. Kung saan yung pera, mga negosyante, nandoon yung mga kriminal. Kaya ganon. Kapag kabubo ka na mayor at hindi mo takot kang makulong, ako, di makulong, di masama makulong. I can make the confession now, if you want.
Mr. Chair.
Talagang niyayari ko. Pero wag mo naman mga pulis ko.
The reason former President Duterte is well loved by the police is that he backed them up.
Alam mo sir, ganito ha. Mabutit na lang nandito if you give me time. Ang pulis sir kawawa. Hindi mo alam, ito nandito itong mga, pag ang pulis na pailan ng kaso sir, suspended yan. Wala ng pagkain yan sa, the day that the suspension is issued, that day ang pulis wala ng pagkain, ang mga pamilya nila wala ng pera, ang mga bata wala ng pamasahe, hinto lahat. Paralyze ang pamilya ng pulis. Hindi ninyo alam yan. Kaya may kaibigan kayo ng pulis, tanungin ninyo. Yan ang buhay ng pulis. Kaya protektado ko yan sila. Pagka in the fulfillment of duty, sabi ko sa kanila, magpakamatay ako sa inyo. Pero pag nag-abuso kayo, nagpatay kayo ng tao, nag-hold up kayo, nag-kidnap kayo, putang ina, ako mismo ang papatay sa inyo.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
And remember this, may budget na dyan. Ang nangako, hindi sila, ako. Nadagdagan ko yung sweldo ninyo. Wala sa budget, sabi ko kay Secretary Jokno, mapahiya ako sa mga sundalo. Sabi ko, you have to look for a way, starting next month, incremental increase na ang sweldo ninyo. Pangako ko, dublado. So you will get it. I cannot make you happy. But ito ang guarantee ko. Remember this afternoon. I can make your lives comfortable habang hindi kayo nagtatrabaho patayan. Thank you.
The Bible says, there is a time to be great. Kagaya ko, presidente ako ngayon. I do not know why. But there will always be a time that I will be nobody. And that is sure to come. And maybe to die thereafter.
Hindi pa man nakabababa sa eroplanong sinakyan mula Hong Kong, may kausap na si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte tungkol sa isang arrest warrant.
A warrant of arrest. So, you will just have to kill me. Kung hindi ako papayag, kung kakampi ka dyan sa mga puti.
Bago lumapag ang eroplano, nagkalat na ang mga pulis at hinigpitan ang seguridad sa NAIA Terminal 3. Naroon sina PNP Chief Romel Marbil at CIDG Chief Police Major General Nicolas Torre III, kasama ang kinatawan ng Interpol o International Criminal Police Organization. Sa Facebook Live ni dating National Intelligence Coordinating Agency Chief Alex Paul Monteagudo, nakitang nag-usap sina Torre at dating Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea. Lumabas ng eroplano ang dating Pangulo kasama ang kanyang common law wife na si Hanilet Avancenia at anak na si Veronica. Gayun din ang kanilang mga security personnel at dating gabinete. Nakunan sa Instagram Live ni Kitty ang diskusyon.
It's time to be merry, happy, and a time to be sad. A time to be healthy, strong, kung bata ka pa.